circumstances.
A millionaire entrepreneur goes missing without a trace.
Andrine is not the person to go take off somewhere no one knows where she is.
Until disturbing clues begin to Paramount Plus.
It's 11 o'clock. AmeriGuard Security would like to remind you to set your alarm and check your cameras. Trust only the best. Protect your family, home, or business with 24/7 armed response. Remember, AmeriGuards it.
The CBS 47 studio is sponsored by Epic Nights at Table Mountain Casino Resort. This is Murrow and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Rhett Rodriguez in for Esteban. Our top story tonight, an investigation is underway after police say 2 men were shot and killed in central Fresno early this morning. Investigators say it happened around 4 a.m. near the 4300 block of East Olive and Cedar Avenues. When officers got to the area, they found 4 adult men with gunshot wounds. All 4 men were rushed to the hospital. 2 of the men didn't make it, while the 2 others are said to be in critical condition.
We're at the early stages, but what we've learned so far is that there appears to have been a gathering that took place with the victims, and at some point, at least one subject joined them, and then a shooting took place.
The victims range from mid-30s to 40s. Police say they haven't figured out a motive for the shooting. Of course, if you have any information, you are asked to contact Fresno Police. Investigators in Los Angeles say they have arrested a possible serial killer linked to 4 murders earlier this week. We're learning new details about how the suspect was caught. Lauren Posen is in LA with the latest.
The individual responsible for these horrific crimes was found, caught, and will now be held accountable.
33-year-old Jared Joseph Powell is accused of shooting 3 homeless men dead across Los Angeles.
A homicidal serial killer is what we know today of him.
Powell has been in custody since Thursday after being arrested earlier in the week in connection with the murder of a county employee in San Dimas. Investigators say Powell followed a county employee and father of 2 home where he robbed and shot him.
Over the course of our investigation of our murders, we were able to identify the vehicle we believe connected to our 3 homicides as being the same vehicle Mr. Powell used in the murder of Mr. Cibola.
Within hours of the San Dimas murder, the sheriff says detectives put Powell's license plate into the system. Beverly Hills police saw a car that matched the description and were able to make an arrest.
They simply entered it into the system and said this is a murder suspect's vehicle, and then that license plate camera doesn't know that it's a murder victim. It just says, hey, law enforcement's looking for this license plate. We don't use that database for any purpose other than a criminal investigation, period. And it is not stored on a permanent basis.
The big question for investigators now is if there are more victims.
The crimes that this individual had committed, we're talking about 4. Based on his criminal history, he didn't just start doing this a week ago.
And as we head into the winter and flu season, hospitals around the valley are reminding people to only go to the ER when necessary. Health experts say at CRMC, their emergency rooms are already full of patients who have COVID, RSV, and the flu. Medical experts say you can help ease the strain off of the healthcare system by only going to the emergency room when you are experiencing difficulty breathing, serious injury, and other concerns that are serious or life-threatening. They say if you are experiencing the common cold or minor aches and pains, you should go to your primary care doctor or an urgent care. And now we take a look outside your Valley Cam, brought to you by Table Mountain Sky. This is just outside our CBS 47 studios. You can see ultimately not too much going on. Can't really see too many clouds going around, and the trees aren't really swaying around. As for our pinpoint weather Doppler, you can see there are a light layer of clouds that is showing that is not visible on our valley cam. Ultimately, it's just been another nice evening. Our temperatures right now, we are somewhere in the mid-40s throughout most of the valley. You see 49 in Merced, 48 in Fresno, and 42 in Visalia. So we are getting lower and lower as we progress throughout the evening. Over the next couple days, this is what you can expect. Tomorrow, you can see a high of 60 degrees, but we will see some possible fog in the mornings throughout some parts of the valley. And then on Monday, as you wake up, and then on Monday, our high will be 62 degrees, also with possible fog. Well, it was a good day for snowboarders and skiers with China Peak opening its doors to start the winter season today. Hundreds of winter sports lovers were out on the slopes carving into the snow. Although the peak has had a very small amount of snow so far this year, they were able to open because of their snowmaking machines. Resort staff says they will continue to fill up the slopes with man-made snow until Mother Nature steps in. And Christmas Tree Lane had its big grand opening for the season tonight, and families were able to walk the lane for the first time after 4 years. Karen Cruz Orduña joins us live at Christmas Tree Lane. Karen, how was it? I imagine it was a night just full of smiles.
Definitely, Red. Lots of smiles, lots of kids, lots of dogs even walking around through Christmas Tree Lane. Now, the doors did close at around 10 p.m. And right now you do see some lights still in the area, but most of the lane has officially closed, so not much light activity at this time. However, let me just say right now it's probably pretty chilly right now in the upper 40s, some cloud cover in this specific area of Fresno. And now let me just say at the end of the day, the turnout was so good that hundreds showed up with their smiles on their faces, just simply enjoying those Christmas tree lights. Shaylee Elmore and her family have been going to Christmas Tree Lane for 15 years. She calls it a family tradition.
They usually do the drive-through.
This year, Elmore and hundreds of people did not have to get in the car and enjoy the Christmas Tree Lane lights through the window. After 4 years hiatus because of the pandemic, walk-only nights are back on Christmas Tree Lane's grand opening of the season.
I'm here to enjoy the lights and be with the family and maybe run into a couple friends.
And make memories. The increase in foot traffic tonight puts the Fresno Sheriff's Office all hands on deck. Their priority, public safety.
We had earlier missing child, so that happens as many people are out here. Children get separated from their parents.
Fresno police are in charge of safety and traffic in the area.
There's a lot of risk for people when you've got pedestrians and traffic, people trying to get home from work, and we're just trying to make sure that, the people coming to the event can get there safely.
Elmore says she enjoys walking through the festive lights and says she is glad this option is back.
I think it's great. We've come a long way, especially after COVID, to even be able to come out without mask on and everything. So I think it's awesome that they've opened it back up.
Now, there are a few lights left over, Red. I mean, there's this house back here, and there's actually people still making their way out. Let me give you a closer look here. People, like I said, the doors did close at around 10 p.m. tonight, but people are still enjoying the time out here. But for those of you who missed out and weren't able to walk through Christmas Tree Lane, well, there's a second opportunity. That is for December 12th. But for now, live in Fresno, I'm Karen Cruz Orduña, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Well, Karen, thank you so much. Looks like fun. News from the North Valley. A Chick-fil-A restaurant is coming to Merced. It will be located on northeast corner of Martin Luther King Jr. Way and West 15th Street. The 5,800-foot building will be situated on 1.5 acres. The start date of construction has not yet been announced. And our furry friends got an opportunity to take pictures with Santa today at Fresno State. Take a look at these pups. The events called Dog Paws and Santa Claus had families coming out to take some of their holiday pictures and portraits. The photo session with Santa were 5 minutes each and cost about $15 for 3 photos. All of the money raised will help support Fresno State's Pre-Vet Club in their journey to become veterinarians.
Know our club and then gets them familiar with us so they can come back in the spring to join us for our microchip and vaccine clinic.
And organizers say this is the first time they hosted this event post-COVID and hope to make this an annual thing moving forward. And a huge turnout at the 94th annual Christmas parade in downtown Fresno. Take a listen. The The popular annual event kicked off at 11 o'clock this morning. The theme this year is Winter Wonderland. The parade started on Fulton Street between Inyo Street and Calavera Street and featured floats and performances with bright lights, music, and holiday cheer.
Fun thing that people can come out and just enjoy with each other. It's a big family event. Every once in a while there's marching bands and it's amazing. All in all, it's amazing.
And after the parade, families were able to get a photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus. And still to come on Eyewitness News, the war in Israel continues after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas collapsed just days ago. And Santa took a break from the North Pole to come down and visit some lucky kids in Fresno. We have the details. And those are your lottery numbers. Hopefully everyone had some good luck.
So I moved to Fresno in 2015, and I've really made it my home. I got into triathlon a couple of years ago. I have won a couple of smaller races, and it's just a really good way to stay in shape. I love the outdoors, and the Central Valley is the perfect place to live for people who love the outdoors. When viewers are watching CBS 47 Eyewitness News, I really want them to walk away from the newscast knowing that they can trust us and knowing that they got the most accurate pinpoint weather forecast.
Welcome, welcome. Meet Lisa and Keith. Don't let the wide smile fool you. They're miserable. They work, they have kids, they escape. Table Mountain Casino Resort.
Hey, the kids are texting.
Enjoy the sweet life before all the fun downstairs. What's your location? I'm taking towels to 111, or maybe they'll just stay in. An epic night of pampering.
Hey, don't you work here?
Hey, we all need a break. Table Mountain Casino Resort.
Tomorrow, a stunning News Nation exclusive.
I don't know what to believe even now.
Legendary UFO journalist George Knapp unlocks his archives to senior correspondent Brian Enton, revealing secrets he's hidden for decades. The underground government relationship that got him access to the nation's biggest mysteries.
The secret conversation that he and I had started that day. It lasted for the rest of his life.
And why the deepest revelations are yet to come. The George Knapp Files. Tomorrow only on News Nation.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's dropping off presents in a sporty Civic or picking up a few for yourself in a fun-to-drive HRV. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Another one in the books, but we're just getting started.
Everything been going well?
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look at this knee.
Because it's the work behind the scenes that truly matters.
We got it at 120. Out the full extension.
Love the sound of that. For your mind, for your body, and for the community. For all that is me, for all that is you. Kaiser Permanente.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Carl's Jr. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Today marked the second day of fighting in Gaza after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas collapsed just earlier this week. Both sides are blaming each other for the break in the truce, and now air raids are focused in the southern region of Gaza. Christian Benavides has more.
Fighting in the Gaza Strip has resumed after a week-long truce between Israel and Hamas came to an end. The IDF says it has targeted and destroyed more than 400 terrorist targets and says Hamas bears responsibility for the renewed fighting. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has directed negotiators to return. Israel also said Saturday they are considering a buffer zone between Gaza and Israel following the conflict to prevent an October 7th style attack from repeating itself.
Let me be clear. You won't have a situation in the future
where you can have Hamas terrorists on the border, directly on the border, positioned just to cross over and kill our people again.
There are also mounting questions about the intelligence failure that led to the October 7th attack, which sparked the war. Margaret Vashtin is part of an Israeli all-female surveillance unit. She said they noticed and reported unusual activity as far back as 6 months prior to the attack.
I think that the main thing that failed is just the fact that they didn't listen to us.
During a trip to the region for a climate summit, Vice President Kamala Harris from Dubai Saturday called for a two-state solution to the conflict and said Israel must do more to protect civilian life.
As Israel pursues its military objectives in Gaza, we believe Israel must do more to protect innocent civilians.
As fighting picks up again, so do the worldwide protests calling for a ceasefire.
And former Congressman George Santos is not leaving quietly after the House voted to remove him from office yesterday. The former New York congressman shared on the social media platform X that he will be filing an ethics complaint against his 4 Republican colleagues, including Santos would be filing complaints as a private citizen with no consideration given for his former position. His post came one day after the vote, after the House voted to overwhelmingly expel him from his former position. He began losing significant support just before Thanksgiving. And after the bipartisan House Committee Ethics issued a 56-page report detailing allegations that he had deceived his donors, filing false campaign statements, and used campaign money to fund lavish lifestyle. And on the campaign trail, the battle for Iowa is heating up as both former President Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis were both campaigning today. While speaking tonight, Trump focused mainly on President Joe Biden and the general election. Trump accused the president, Joe Biden, of being the destroyer of American democracy, as he claims Biden has weaponized the federal government to prosecute him and to try to get him off the ballot.
1 year from now, the American people are going to fire crooked Joe Biden and the Democrat Party in a political earthquake that will echo all around the world.
While Trump may be ahead in the polls, many of his caucus are still considering their options ahead of the January 1st presidential contest. And when we come back, I'll have your full pinpoint weather forecast. But for now, we take a look at your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy. Your top pollens are elm and juniper, and those are your levels of the next 4 days. We'll be right back.
For 8 years, CBS 47 Lithia Subaru of Fresno and our Renew a Ride partners have changed the lives of Valley families.
It gives them really just like a renewed life.
We're giving back to our Central Valley community this year by giving away a renewed vehicle. Go to yourcentralvalley.com/renew-a-ride today and nominate someone in need. Get ready to change someone's life. CBS 47 Renew a Ride. Enter today.
Every year, insurance companies take home billions of dollars in profit. That's profit. Do you know how they do it? By charging more, doing less, and holding out on the people who need help the most. I'm William Berg. If you've been injured in a car accident, don't let the insurance company stuff their pockets by taking money out of yours.
Get Berg.
Get Berg. Get Berg. Call 1-800-400-BERG.
Why choose between a longer life or quality of life? You deserve both. And with Kisqali, a treatment for people with metastatic breast cancer, you can have both. Kisqali is a pill that, when taken with an aromatase inhibitor, is the only treatment of its kind shown to both help people live longer and improve or preserve quality of life. Because you shouldn't have to sacrifice one for the other. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Live longer and live well. Ask about Kisqali, and long live you.
All around us, Events unfolding. Start your day with breaking news from the break of dawn to prepare you for the day ahead. Investigative journalism, pinpoint weather on Eyewitness News this morning.
Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Atlantis Private Investigations.
Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Well, welcome back. We start tonight with a look at our Valley Cam brought to you by Table Mountain Sky. This is just off a block construction in Fresno. You can see there are some cars moving in there, but ultimately not too much going around. There is a slight little bit of cloud cover. Honestly, nothing that is too manageable. Our Fresno Almanac, we do take a look at this day in history. See our high today was 61 degrees, which is pretty close to our average of 58 degrees, but is nowhere near the record of 74, which we did set back in 1907. As for your sunrise, you can expect it at 6:54 in the morning tomorrow, and your sunset at 4:43. So we are seeing those days get shorter and shorter as we head throughout December. Ultimately, it makes me a little sad. But as our temperatures, we can see we're hanging around in the mid-40s throughout most of the valley. We have 49 in Merced, 48 in Madera, and 41 in Hanford. So we are seeing some cooler spots in the South Valley. As we look over the last 24 hours, you can see we are warmer in a lot of places. You can see Madera is 10 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday. Fresno too, but Hanford 5 degrees below where we were at this time yesterday. You can see our futurecast does show some light clouds coming into the mix. Ultimately, they don't stay around too long as we go throughout our week. But our air quality, we're going to be mostly in that moderate air quality for most of the valley. You can see that Sequoia, you are in that good. Ultimately, it just want to keep an eye on that. But it's still a good day to go outside and kind of have fun. So our valley forecast, you can expect mostly in the mid-60s throughout most of the North Valley. You see Atwater at 61, Merced 61 as well, and Dos Palos 62. Then we head into Fresno County. This is where you can see Mendota at 62. Fresno 60, and Selma at 61. As for South Valley, you can see Hanford a high of 61 tomorrow, Tulare 61 as well, and Porterville 61. Ultimately, we're kind of hanging around within just 1 degree of each other throughout most of the valley. We do make our way to the foothills. This is where you can see Mariposa a high of 58 tomorrow with the overnight low of 41. As for Oakhurst 59 and North Fork 57. Then we make it to Dunlap. We see a high of 56 and Three Rivers 63, as well as Springville at 61. Well, guess what? If you're going to go golfing like me tomorrow morning, this is what you can expect for your forecast. At 9 a.m. when you're teeing off, you can see some clouds, maybe a little early morning fog. You'll see a high of 48 degrees at that time. Then at noon, we'll get to 56, which, you know, is a little too cold for me. But you know what? Still a nice day to hit some drives down the fairway. And at 3 p.m., we'll see a high of 59. Ultimately, going to be a nice day. We are seeing warmer days, luckily. Over the next couple days, this is what you can expect. You can see some early morning fog for Sunday and Monday, and we'll see highs in the mid-60s throughout most of the valley. And then on Wednesday, we're going to climb up to 68. And, you know, tees around that 70-degree mark. We'll see partly cloudy skies, excuse me, and our overnight lows are going to be in the mid-40s before we climb back down on Saturday to 56 degrees from that nice era in the 60s. As for your Sierra forecast, this is what you can expect. You can expect a slight chance of haze tomorrow, a high of 49. Then you're going to continue throughout it and be in the mid-50s, and then you'll have a slight chance of rain on Saturday. Your overnight lows are going to be pretty much at that 30-degree mark, even some temperatures below freezing. Well, and coming up next in sports, college football championships and high school regional bowl games. Andrew Martin is next in Sports Central.
Flavor on and on. I'm in the driver's seat. Tonight, we're on. Rally's flavor is on at $1.99. Choose Pepper Jack Barbecue, A1 Swiss, or Rally's Bacon Cheddar Crisp, $1.99 each. Rally's.
We're here at Best RV in Turlock, the #1 RV dealership in the entire state of California. Of course, the largest selection and the best pricing as well. Franco Finn here, along with Niall at Best RV. Now, what can folks find here that's coming up that's special?
We have major liquidations until end of the year. Everything below cost, thousands of dollars, 50% off MSRP. That's awesome. 1,000 below cost, no hidden fees, just coming in.
Great deals, great pricing. But what can we find here?
You're gonna find all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, fifth wheel, travel trailers, toy hauler, destination trailers, even park models.
That's a lot of selection here at Best RV. Well, you know what? Online, where can you find you?
You could go to bestrv.com. You could find the unit, the specification, photos, videos, price. Even they could do their own finance.
That's amazing. Largest selection, of course, best pricing. You can go online at bestrv.com. Right here, Best RV in Turlock, right off the 99. Come see Niall and the rest of the team. They'll set you up with all the RVs you want.
Coming in.
The Valley cities are always growing, always changing. I'm going to find out what challenges these communities face and what's promising on the horizon. Watch Meeting with the Mayors Thursdays live on Eyewitness News, sponsored by Atlantis Private Investigations.
Stay informed, stay connected with the Valley Cam Network, presented by Table Mountain Sky.
Now YourCentralValley.com pros who know.
Avoid foods that can cause inflammation, such as red meats and refined carbs. Try to eat healthy foods, such as lean meats, leafy greens, and berries.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
Now is your chance to save big on a new Toyota, the most reliable brand on the road. Toyota's Black Friday sales event is on. There's so much of California to explore. Don't wait, take a break, get out there and have some fun in a brand new Toyota. Right now, get low 3.99% APR on RAV4, Highlander, and Tacoma. Or get $1,500 cash back when you finance with Toyota on select 4Runner models. Hurry in and get to your Toyota dealer today. The Black Friday sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
So, who's in the college football playoff? Which 4 teams will get to play for a national championship this season? Georgia was a lock before the SEC championship game. Alabama ended the Bulldogs' 29-game winning streak, despite the fact Kendall Milton had 2 touchdowns. The ex-Buchanan standout had a 17-yard touchdown in the first quarter, a 1-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. He had 42 rushing yards in the game to lead Georgia, but it's Alabama winning 27-24. From the SEC championship game to the Big 12 championship game, Texas dominated Oklahoma State 49-21. In the win, ex-Central High standout Xavier Worthy had 6 catches for 86 yards. One of his catches went for 54 yards in the first quarter. Boy, he is fast. The Mountain West championship game was in Las Vegas today. It was won by Boise State, 44-20 over UNLV. The Broncos have won 3 straight games under their interim head coach. It is their 5th Mountain West championship. High school football, regional bowl games in Division 2A, Central Valley Christian hosting Simi Valley. Bryson Donaldson had a big game in front of his future position coach at Fresno State, Aaron Pryor. He coaches the Bulldog running backs. Second quarter, here's Donaldson dragging a pile of Pioneers all the way to the goal line. Drew DeGroff would finish off this drive for the Cavaliers. He gets in the end zone, and CVC will play for a state championship next weekend, winning 55-38. Division 4A, Mission Oak hosting Rio Hondo Prep from Arcadia. Tonight's game at Bob Mathias Stadium. The Hawks won the Division III Central Section Championship last week, and they got off to a great start in their state regional bowl game tonight. Kenny Jackson returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown. The Hawks are moving on. They win 29-14. Division 7A, Strathmore hosting Lincoln from San Francisco. Head coach Jeremy Blackwell wanting to savor the moment before kickoff. And that opening kickoff, like in Tulare, was run back for a touchdown by the home team. Roman Hernandez fielded it at about his 10-yard line, finds some room, and he's gone. 7-0 Spartans. They would add to that lead still in the first quarter. Quarterback Bryson Bias keeps it. He fights his way into the end zone from 15 yards out. Strathmore will play for a state championship next weekend. 41-15, the final over Lincoln. Finally, at Central High School today, the gym was transformed into a winter wonderland. Jalen Johnson back in town to host an event benefiting Kevy's Vision, a nonprofit organization that was created to keep alive the memory of his friend who was killed 2 years ago. Kids were treated today to a carnival, a bounce house, face painting, and lots of toys.
That's what it's all about, just keeping my friend Kevy's name alive, just continue to get back in his name through the community. Hopefully people get a chance to take some pictures over by his name, by his face, so everybody knows one of the reasons why we're here and who all this is for, and just to, again, to continue to live out his legacy and his caring, giving heart.
The Fresno State women's basketball team beat UC San Diego 71-52. And that's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
93.7 Kiss Country, today's best country. I don't mind being the guy with the girl. Start your day with Chris and Joe, the new Kiss Country morning show. Last night we let the liquor talk. Download the Kiss Country app and listen everywhere you go. She got the best of me between a rock and a hard place. Today's best country. Kiss Country.
We're here at Best RV in Turlock, the #1 RV dealership in the entire state of California. Of course, the largest selection and the best pricing as well. Franco Finn here, along with Niall at Best RV. Now, what can folks find here that's coming up that's special?
We have major liquidations until end of the year. Everything below cost, $1,000, 50% off MSRP.
That's awesome.
1,000 below cost, no hidden fees, just coming in.
Great deals, great pricing. But what can we find here?
You're gonna find all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, fifth wheel, travel trailers, toy hauler, destination trailers, even park models.
That's a lot of selection here at Best RV. Well, you know what? Online, where can you find you?
You could go to bestrv.com. You could find the unit, the specification, photos, videos, price. Even they could do their own finance.
That's amazing. Largest selection, of course, best pricing. You can go online at bestrv.com. Right here, Best RV in Turlock, right off the 99. Come see Niall and the rest of the team. They'll set you up with all the RVs you want.
Coming in.
Trust. It's important when picking an attorney. You must trust them. They'll be speaking for you. And when people get injured here, they trust the heavy hitters. We live here, we work here, and we've helped thousands of people here. Car wreck? Call the Curtis Legal Group. The heavy hitters. We're in this community every day. Here, the Curtis Legal Group puts you first and gets you more. Injured in a car wreck? Trust the heavy hitters. The Curtis Legal Group.
The heavy hitters are the way to go. Call 1-800-LAW-3080.
Do you know what your child is doing online? We know protecting children is a priority, so we've joined forces with these organizations to bring you the CBS 47 Cyber Safe Parent Program. Visit our website, yourcentralvalley.com, under education, and talk to your children about internet safety.
To watch CBS 47 Eyewitness News anytime, go to Xfinity On Demand and click Get Local. Eyewitness News is brought to you in part by Tulare Outlets. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Well, families in Fresno didn't have to go to the North Pole to see Santa today. Thanks to the Fresno Police Department and Amazon, more than 100 kids and their families got to meet Old St. Nick at Gaston Middle School today. This was for this 22nd annual Santa's Village. On top of getting a free picture with Santa, families also got a free gift and a free meal. Fresno Police Chief Paco Balderrama says events like today are so important to the department to give back to the community.
What we do as a police department, we serve the community in every way that we can, and it's not just about public safety, it's also about building relationships.
And it was a nice event, and kids did get a free gift to take home. Ultimately, what was even better was the smile they took on their face as they were leaving out the door. And before we let you go, we thought we'd just take one last look at the weather. Ultimately, here's what you can see right now. This is just brought to you our Valley Cam, brought to you by Table Mountain Sky. This is on the block construction outside of, in Fresno. You can see ultimately there are a thin layer of clouds going on. You can see the moon's playing hide and seek back there. Ultimately, it's just another nice ending to a Saturday evening. As for your golf forecast tomorrow, this is what you can expect. You can expect temperatures, mainly in that mid 40-degree range for most of the time you play. You see at 9 a.m. we're going to see possibly some fog, so do be careful as you're driving to your tee time. Then we'll see 48 degrees as you get out there. Then at noon you'll see 56 degrees. Clouds are going to start clearing, so it is going to be a nice day to hit the, even if you just hit the driving range, it'll still be nice. And then at 3 you'll see a high, the high of 59. Mostly clear skies. You'll see some clouds here and there. Ultimately, nothing too crazy going on. Over the next couple of days, this is what you can expect. You see a high of 60 degrees tomorrow with some fog. Then on Monday, you see we go up to 62, as well in the mid-60s throughout most of the week. Our overnight lows are going to be somewhere in the mid-40s throughout most of the valley. You can see we go to 43 and then 46 on Thursday, and then we climb back down to 44. As for our Sierra forecast, this is where our temperatures are kind of variable a little bit. We'll see tomorrow we can see a high of 49 with some haze, and then as we go throughout the week, we are going to get up to 55. So it does a little bit warmer than we normally see this time of year, as we will see mostly partly cloudy skies throughout it. And we'll even see a chance of rain next Saturday up there. We'll even get those overnight lows, the high down into those 37 and 40, so it could be pretty chilly. And our overnight lows are going to be pretty cold. We see on Sunday we get down to 29, and then we climb back up to the mid-30s throughout the most of the week, but then we even get below freezing again at 28 degrees on Saturday. And that'll do it for this edition of Eyewitness News. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a nice evening.
Eyewitness News brings you an Eye on Ag. Join Anthony Bailey for the latest in ag innovations and insights from our prominent local partners. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Eyewitness News. Or watch the stories online now at yourcentralvalley.com.
We're here at Best RV in Turlock, the #1 RV dealership in the entire state of California. Of course, the largest selection and the best pricing as well. Franco Finn here, along with Niall at Best RV. Now, what can folks find here that's coming up that's special?
We have major liquidations until end of the year. Everything below cost, $1,000, 50% off MSRP.
That's awesome.
1,000 below cost, no hidden fees, just coming in.
Great deals, great pricing, but what can we find here?
You're gonna find all of it from Class A, Class B, Class C, fifth wheel, travel trailers, toy hauler, destination trailers, even park models.
That's a lot of selection here at Best RV. Well, you know what? Online, where can you find you?
You could go to bestrv.com. You could find the unit, the specification, photos, videos, price. Even they could do their own finance.
That's amazing. Largest selection, of course, best pricing. You can go online at bestrv.com. Right here, Best RV in Turlock, right off the 99. Come see Niall and the rest of the team. They'll set you up with all the RVs you want.
Coming in.
I'm Catherine Herr. You're watching CBS 47.
The following paid commercial program does not reflect the opinions and views of Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporated, this station, or their employees and affiliates.
The following is a paid presentation for the Good Feet store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Do you suffer from foot pain? How about knee, hip, or back pain?
The pain was so much that I couldn't really focus on my job.
I would end the day